Hi everyone, my name's Laura and I'm a PhD candidate at Deakin University. My project is founded upon previous findings that ravens were predating on an alarmingly high number of little penguin eggs and chicks at monitored burrows on Phillip Island. This predation that we're seeing is a novel predatory behaviour that's only really started being observed in the past 2 decades. My PhD has been looking into ways we might adaptively manage this threat, and to do this we've primarily been looking at genetics, diet and habitat to see if we can pinpoint areas to focus management efforts. Back in 2016, I was fortunate to be one of the recipients of the Bill Borthwick Student Scholarship, which went towards helping us conduct the genetics portion of our research. In general, corvids are really well known for their intelligence to the extent that it's been compared to that of apes. They're highly innovative and able to persist in urban and rural environments, becoming highly abundant in a number of places as they take advantage of urbanisation and other human influences. Taking advantage of isolated prey species in fragmented habitats is also something corvids are quite proficient at doing, and it's often in these cases where we look to manage them. Their intelligence and adaptability allow them to be formidable predators in their ability to target and exploit prey, but it also makes them very difficult to manage if they're able to do things like circumvent or avoid management attempts. Because of their typically high abundance, removal methods normally mean they're quickly replaced by others in the population. Our ravens at Phillip Island work both individually or in pairs to target penguin clutches, and they tend to employ one of two modes of attack. The first by going straight through the burrow entrance, and the second by digging a hole in the burrow roof or the side of the burrow to access the egg chamber. One of the questions we thought was really important in answering was whether the skills needed to successfully target and breach penguin burrows are possessed by all or only some corvids, and if they're skills that can be transmitted, how are they being transmitted? So we aimed to use genetics to examine if culprit egg-eating ravens were more related to each other than other non-culprit birds. From prior work, it looked like there were several individuals repeatedly visiting burrows at monitored sites. We wanted to know a bit more about as to why this might be. If these were resident breeding pairs targeting burrows in their territory, if they were passing on this behaviour to their offspring either genetically or through social learning, or if there was some genetic link between all our known culprits suggesting some sort of shared traits or supporting familial links. We wanted to see if there was any genetic link at all, to advise whether we should be targeting individuals or families for management, or if this was just something that all ravens do given the opportunity. So with the help of the Bill Borthwick Student Scholarship, we were able to look at the relatedness between 198 individuals using 19 loci. Essentially what we found was that there was no real sign of our culprits being more related to each other than to other birds. Likewise, we didn't really find that offspring of culprits were more inclined to be egg eaters than the offspring of other non-egg eating ravens. There also wasn't much difference between our male and female birds. Neither sex was more likely to be a culprit than the other. From our findings, there are several other possibilities than genetics that might help explain the rapid uptake in this behaviour over the past couple of decades. One of those possible explanations is cultural transmission of skills, so birds teaching one another. Corvids have a high capacity to innovate, and coupled with the fact that they're generally a very social species, it's highly possible that this is the reason we've seen such an increase in this behaviour recently. What this means for management is that targeting ravens based solely on their genetic relationship to culprits is unlikely to reduce predation rates. However, targeting known culprits may slow transmission of burrow raiding behaviour. If we assume that this skill is more likely to be transmitted via social learning, then we might want to try and take advantage of this with management methods such as aversive conditioning, where aversive conditioning methods here might include training known culprits to learn that penguin eggs or chicks taste really bad, and then relying on them to pass that information on to their other raven friends. Overall, as with most cases, unfortunately there doesn't seem to be a single simple solution for long-term management. But based on our results, we believe the likelihood of ravens learning problematic behaviours via social transmission should be taken into account when implementing raven management. We'd like to extend our thanks again to the Bill Borthwick Student Scholarship for helping us to fund this research, and thank you very much for listening.